This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The zebra of the plains is perpetually hunted by a myriad of merciless predators. With no purpose other than to feed monsters, the zebra spends its entire life standing around awaiting a violent death. They are nature's ultimate prey. The zebra paces the earth, patiently going through the motions of life, knowing that at any moment it will end in a sudden shock of pain and brutality. With its black and white stripes serving as an ostentatious beacon to any nearby predators, the zebra whiles away its time before gruesome elimination. Zebra wait on the pantry shelf that is the African plain before something finds it and, at last, remembers to eat it.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our Bit Plus Network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? It is another beautiful day here. I am joined live via remote by Miss Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method. And I'm wondering, Chelsea, do you see Aria in there with you or not? Nope, no Aria today. Oh, well, unfortunately, we don't have Aria with us, but we do have Chelsea. Tom has a little one that is very sick, so he'll be out today as well. So that means, well, you are stuck with just me. Lucky you. Until 7 o'clock this evening. But I wanted to... There's a lot of stuff going on. You've got a new national security advisor. He's not a really good guy. Let's just say that. You there?
Yeah, I am.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into this. This guy, he was given a nod by Ted Cruz, and he already has worked for more than one Republican administration. So let's make sure we don't try to make this about some grand thing that Trump is worse than he actually is, which, he sucks, but this whole, Trump is uniquely awful because he's appointed all of these people that have already been in power under multiple presidents. I don't understand how that makes him uniquely evil when, these people have already been in power before. So that's literally the exact opposite of unique.
Although it is the job of the president to take the blame for everything, no matter what.
Yes, absolutely. Says here, National Security Advisor John Bolton recently chaired a nonprofit that has shared fake anti-Muslim news stories. Bolton was chairman of the New York-based Gatestone Institute, which peddled misleading and false anti-Muslim accounts from 2013 until he resigned last month. The advocacy group warns about the imminent jihadist takeover that will lead to a great white death. Among the headlines appearing on the Institute's website last year is Germany confiscating homes for use for migrants, about one apartment rental property in Hamburg that landed in a temporary trusteeship. Another from 2015 claimed immigrants such as Somalis in Sweden were turning the country into the rape capital of the West. Gatestone is a key part of the whole Islamophobic cottage industry on the internet. Bolton's affiliation with Gatestone and being in one of the most powerful positions on the planet is quite disturbing. The Institute says on its website it's a nonpartisan group dedicated to educating the public about what the mainstream media fails to report on a range of topics, including human rights and quote-unquote free speech. Brookings Institute fellow Alina Polyakova, who studies the far-right populism, told NBC the Gatestone is putting out content that is clearly anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim, and is echoing some of the Russian disinformation propaganda. Now, here's my issue. Most of this is funded by pro-Israel groups or by Israeli military, attaches specifically. So why do we keep mentioning Russia? Why do we never mention the fact that a lot of this stuff is funded by Israel as well? Why do they? Is there just like this special area that's carved out where Russia can't spend money to affect American elections? Basically, no one is allowed to spend money to affect American elections, with the exception of the state of Israel.
For Israel. Yeah, well, we already know the answer to that question, and the answer to that question is yes. There is a special place for Israel, and it just gets to hide from the radars. But it is. Honestly, it kind of seems strange that this even comes back to Russia at all. I mean, forget the fact that it's not coming back to Israel, but the fact that it's coming back to Russia at all. I mean, I thought that the Russia disinformation propaganda was not originally intended to be anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant.
Well, not only that, but Bolton has beat the war drum against Russia more than once.
Well, yeah, that's.
But then again, Bolton has beat the war drum against everyone. That's just what he does. He's a PNAC guy.
He's a what guy?
PNAC. Portrait for a New American Century.
Oh.
He's also one of those totally non-threatening CFR guys, like we shouldn't worry that Bill Weld, as a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, couldn't possibly have anything to do with the fact that his views on the position of we should just randomly drone bomb Yemen are the same as someone like Michael, this Bolton fellow, John Bolton. So, and he's another one of these guys. He and the websites that he works for push this, what do they call it? Stealth jihad theory, where the theory is that Muslims, particularly Muslims like myself, those that are politically active, are here in a secret plot to influence your government and take it over from the inside out in order to outlaw your rights and install a Saudi Arabian theocracy in America.
So the Cold War all over again.
Yeah. But the funny thing is these people are almost invariably funded by groups that are affiliated with AIPAC.
That literally already have success in infiltrating our government and impacting our democratic process.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And again, we're back to you have this cottage industry out there that these people, they go and they lobby your congressman, they lobby your state representative directly and say, you know what? You know what's bad? Contract law. Contract law is bad. It undermines your power and authority to tell people how they can make decisions amongst themselves. Right now, those people can just make decisions amongst themselves by any law they choose to. They don't have to come to you for anything. We can't have that, can we? We need a new law that says that only laws that are written down on paper by you can be valid or used in court. And everything else, well, everything else won't be acknowledged. So, that whole concept of private contract that's been upheld in Western society since the days of the common law, well, in the name of, we got to keep those Muslims from being able to have their own private contracts, they will go and advocate the government take away your right to do so as well. Sounds to me like projection. When we get back, we're going to discuss projection in modern politics on the Call to Freedom. LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And I'm wondering, are you new to the crypto game? Have you been wanting to get invested, but you don't want to read candle graphs? You don't really know where to go, just straight buy coins. You don't want to have to deal with like Coinbase and all that kind of thing. Well, let me tell you, try this thing. It's called a savings accelerator, and it's from Helium.com. Now it's powered by Uphold.com, and they've designed an algorithm, and it watches the values between multiple cryptocurrencies and fiats at the same time. Then it moves your money when the timing is just right. So you just load up your account with a crypto wallet or with your bank card, and then you just set it and forget it. It's like a crock pot for cryptocurrency. Everything's completely automatic. Helium lets your money move you. So go on over to heliumwithane.com/CTF and get a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. That's HELUM.com/CTF. So we've been talking about John Bolton and Brigitte Gabriel. Just basically, you've got, this is the second or third appointee that Trump has put forward that comes from this Gatestone Institute. And I'm pretty sure if you did a little bit of digging, you're probably going to find that the same folks we were talking about a couple of weeks ago that have major financial backing for pro-Israel lobbies, AIPAC, that kind of stuff, are also behind these groups here. You know, the Gatestone Institute, Act for America, those kinds of folks. So we're seeing it over and over again that these groups are popping up, and they literally live on the politics of projection, which is where you do a thing. You know, like Brigitte Gabriel, she likes to talk about how, oh, well, the Muslims, you know, they're influencing your government. They are lobbying. They're trying to get laws passed to take away your freedoms. But when you do a little bit of digging, you find out that's what she does for a living. That's how she lives her life. She goes from state to state and pushes for local groups that have influence, or the legislators themselves lobbying directly to them to pass what they call anti-Sharia laws. Now, these laws basically outlaw private contracts, but that's not how they're pitched to the public. They're pitched to the public as, oh, he's scary Sharia, and we got all this, it's just awful, and in honor and stoning, we got it. You have to give up your rights that we're not going to acknowledge that you're going to give up for this bill. We're just going to act like that didn't happen, because the average person doesn't think about that. But this is why, like in Florida, it took them 6 tries to pass the anti-Sharia bill in Florida, and that's because the banks have so much influence down there. And why did the banks not want anti-Sharia laws? Because the first 3 bills that they put forward would have nullified credit card contracts. Because credit card contracts exist outside of American law. They're not based
Gay
on
capitalism fighting for freedom.
Yeah, basically they're contracts that are built on arbitration. Basically, the first 3 attempts at Florida's anti-Sharia bill, they outlawed all private arbitration. Now, this is Florida, where Act for America's national headquarters is located, just in case, this is the state where taxpayer dollars were used to bring Geert Wilders, famous anti-Muslim politician from the Netherlands, to America. They used Florida state taxpayer dollars to fly him here, keep him here at a hotel, and then pay for a venue for him to give a speech about why Muslims are scary. This is Florida. This national headquarters of the organization that's pushing these laws is in Florida. And it took them 3 tries to get the law passed because the banks were like, no, if you vote for this, we will not donate to your campaign. And they literally had to write, there was 5 rewrites where they finally just wrote the law and said, look, this law only applies to citizenry. It doesn't appeal to businesses of any kind. So you still lost your individual rights as a person to private contract. But the business's rights were protected.
Why is taking away my ability to make a contract with somebody else?
Because that's how Sharia exists in the United States. It's through private arbitration. These Sharia courts and stuff that you hear Fox News all freak out about, and then Judge Napolitano goes on and is like, this is legal, yo. Like, the Jews have been doing this for centuries. I don't understand why you guys are freaking out. Well, the Muslims, man, it's about the Muslims. It's Sharia law. And he's like, yo, switch to decaf. Okay? Like, these people are arbitrating civil contracts about business and property transfers and marriages and divorces. Like, this has nothing to do with criminal law. I don't know why you guys are freaking the hell out. And then states pass laws to prevent this stuff from civil arbitration. They pass anti-civil arbitration laws, and the Republicans cheer for it. Because they call it, because they cast it anti-Muslim. You had Don't Say Gay Stacey Campfield, the guy who got Tennessee legislator, got on television on The Daily Show because he wrote a bill where you couldn't use the word homosexual in Tennessee public schools. Don't Say Gay Stacey Campfield was even like, yo guys, I read the bill and it's the Patriot Act copy-pasted with state of Tennessee put in instead of federal. Like, this has nothing to do with Muslims, has nothing to do with Sharia. You're being duped. You're being duped. And still the Republicans in Tennessee passed. He was literally the only Republican in the state that voted against it.
So what's in Sharia law, and which of the things are like scaring people so much?
Well, it's the criminal code.
Or is it just nothing?
It's the criminal code is the problem, is that there are capital punishments in the criminal code, just like there are capital punishments in the American system.
Capital punishment meaning people are put to death,
or the cutting of hands, and that's and again that's an extreme case. There's not a single time in the entire Sunnah, like if you look at the histories of the Prophet, there was never a single time that happened while he was alive.
Does it happen in America today?
It's never happened in America ever. No.
Okay, so then,
and you don't really see it, and you don't really see it happening overseas, except for vigilante justice, which itself is criminalized under Sharia. So I mean, but anyway, that people they're like, oh well, if you allow Muslims to arbitrate civil contracts, then that's exactly the same as like stoning women in the street, because logic, I guess. Anyway, when we get back here, we are going to talk about how Bill Weld got kokeshed this weekend on the Call to Freedom.
On May 22nd, 1992, beloved talk show host Johnny Carson ended his 30-year run of hosting The Tonight Show with a farewell episode that included special guests Saddam Hussein, KKK Grand Wizard Virgil E. Griffin, and a musical performance by the Flag. On May 24th, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge opened, providing New Yorkers with a more efficient way of killing themselves and escaping their trash-ridden excrement-cake city. The monument's historic opening was marked by hundreds of people jumping 275 feet to their deaths in order to avoid waking up every morning with the smell of horse shit filling their nostrils.
Before the Brooklyn Bridge, there were very few ways for New Yorkers to free themselves from the cesspool in which they lived. One method was to tie cinder blocks on their legs and walk into the Hudson River. But of course, the banks of the Hudson were so brimming with garbage and raw sewage that the putrid stench would drive back even the most desperate suicide seeker.
This is the Onion News Network.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, we were talking about the politics of projection, how a lot of times what you've got is you have these people out there and they will yell at you about how awful it is that, this group or that group or the other group is lobbying for their rights from the state. And that's bad for your rights. But then when you do a little bit of digging, you find out these people are literally raising money and going to speak to your state reps, your congressmen, and encouraging them to write bills, draft bills, support bills, and vote for bills that take away your right to private contract, all in the name of preventing other people from having rights.
See what I'm doing with this hand. Don't pay attention to the other hand.
Right.
Right. But I mean, and then that like plays into all of identity politics anyway, because you've got people who go out there and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a wholesome person, I'm a family person, I'm like, you know, whatever, Christian person, or all these things, and then it comes out that they're, you know, sleeping with their secretaries or just doing whatever it is that they do, and all these scandals that come out, and it's like, well, but then we like ignore it, right? We let it go so quickly. But we can't let go of Russia. Not Russia.
Well, of course not, because Russia is like the convenient little boogeyman.
Do you ever wonder, honestly? Yeah, I mean, but do you wonder, like, how much Russia, like, non-American citizens, not like American citizens who have Russian ancestry, but actually, do you ever wonder how much Russia influenced the election? How much they actually did? Like,
not really, because I know that it was minuscule compared to
that's my point. It's like, in my mind, I think it couldn't have been. I mean, you know, like, especially considering that, like, Israel has been just so far entrenched, like, Russia's just getting into this game.
Oh, yeah. If you say
like,
I'm a senator,
if
you say I'm a senator for America before I'm a senator for Israel, you literally will not be a senator for America the next time you come up for re-election.
Right. So they know how to play that game. I know that they definitely impacted this most recent election more than Russia did.
Funding the groups that are pushing this whole, like, oh, it's stealth jihad. If Muslims are nice to you, then what they really want to do is cut off your head. And, you know, you got to watch out because they're going to try to influence your government, and, you know, they're going to turn America into Saudi Arabia. Well, just let's just take stock real quick. America, the Israeli military is training your police officers. Look around you. Do you think America is more like Saudi Arabia or more like Israel? Let's see. Riot gear and military weapons used against civilians. Okay, well, let's be fair. Saudi Arabia does that too. But Saudi's not training our police officers on the tactics for how to properly do that. Whereas Israel, like, when a state or a city says, we're not going to be a part of this, it's literally national news.
Yeah.
It's national news when a city or a state in the United States says, you know what, we don't want our police officers going to Israel to learn how to treat our civilians the way they treat the Palestinians.
Yeah, because why would we treat our civilians that way? But no, okay. Yeah. We just freak out.
Anyway, well, we've got another CFR goon. He's been infiltrating the Libertarian Party for the course of the last couple years. He was successful in 2016 in his effort to buy the Libertarian Party's vice presidential campaign, in which he took an opportunity at the end of the session to endorse his good friend in the Clinton family. He was challenged. He was Kokeshed this week. Let's listen.
Mr. Well, good afternoon. Adam Kokesh, how you doing?
Yeah, nice.
Reza, hey. Well, I had a question. Excellent. A lot of people in the Libertarian Party are wondering, how much did Hillary Clinton pay you off to support her in the last presidential cycle?
I've seen some Hillary blue ribbons on this this convention here. So
look at John Bush in the background.
Machine must still be strong. People have been holding them up in front of me.
Well, do you understand that a lot of people who believe in the message of libertarianism have a problem with someone who advocates for so much contrary to our principles trying to be part of the party like yourself?
Well, I don't think that's right, actually. I've been a libertarian since I was in school, starting with John Stuart Mill, going on through Friedrich Hayek in law school.
What does it mean to you to be a libertarian?
It means that the individual is paramount and that the duty of government is to govern as little as possible, tax as little as possible.
So taxation isn't theft? You want some taxation?
Taxation is theft. That was my motto in 2016. In fact, listen to this. So I like to quote the French anarchist Proudhon, who said that property is theft, as you may know. And I turned that around and said, no, it's not property that's theft, it's coercive taxation that's theft, which goes to prove that even anarchists aren't always right.
So would you rescind what you said about Hillary Clinton as vouching for her in the 2016 election?
I said vouch, not endorse, and I did pick that word on purpose because everyone in the world was saying this is the worst person that ever climbed out of a sewer, and I don't believe that that's true. So I wanted to give her personal vouching since no one else was.
So do you oppose the initiation of force to achieve political and social goals?
Yeah, I would say my motto is that a well-functioning government is one in which the individual can never be thrust in a corner. And I've said that since my first term as governor. And that pretty much squares with the libertarian philosophy, in my view.
So what do you think the proper role of government is?
To govern as little as possible, to restrain men from injuring one.
What is as little as possible?
Well, that...
what are the appropriate roles for government that you think are good for government to do?
National defense, providing for the common safety. For example, I would abolish the United States Department of Education tomorrow.
How would you pay for national defense? Would you tax people to pay for it?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
You have to admit, that's become a buzz thing now.
I am glad, but also
here's the issue with that though: is if once it becomes a buzz thing, you know that it never gets done, right? It's like abortion. Like, I'm going to challenge Roe versus Wade. We're going to get rid of abortion. Okay, well, from 2000 until 2004, you had a full-on majority where you had a majority in the House, a majority in the Senate, and you had the presidency, a lock, stock, and barrel majority, and you didn't even acknowledge that abortion exists until you were no longer in majority, and then suddenly you brought abortion back out as like this plank that we should beat on constantly. Guess what? Getting rid of the Department of Education is becoming the same exact thing. As soon as Ted Cruz was like, I would get rid of the Department of Education, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, honestly, I wonder if they do that stuff on purpose. Because once they own it, then they get to change it and stuff. But
that is correct.
But, I mean, it would be great to end the Department of Education.
It would be, but again, this is a you got to remember, Bill Weld is a politician.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you listen to all of his answers, he doesn't actually, say anything, right? And we've talked about this before. But, even when, what was the question that Kokesh just asked about, do you believe in the initiation of force to enforce law or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And and Will's answer was, well, no. I mean, and I think that, and I'm like, the answer's no. The word that you're looking for is no, period, actually. That's what you're looking for right there. And so it's just all this equivocation is annoying to listen to anyway.
It is. And you can see, the man doesn't really stand for anything whatsoever. He's
so you're right. I mean, the fact that that's the first solid thing that he said.
Yeah, it's kicking around buzzwords. He's kicking around buzzwords. That's something that you just, I want to into the Department of Education, and the TV says that makes me libertarian. Okay.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Well, what about heroin? Do you want heroin to be legal?
Well, you can't say that. He's never going to say that.
Well, then you're not a libertarian. I'm sorry.
Do you want Hillary to be president?
If you're not willing to say, I think all drugs should be legal, you're not a libertarian.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, we've been talking about how, Weld got Kokeshed this weekend. He was challenged on his endorsing of Hillary Clinton. And, of course, he split hairs and said, oh, well, I didn't endorse her. I vouched for her. When anyone who has the ability to Google or can pick up a thesaurus sees that the word vouch and endorse are synonymous with each other. They are synonyms, as in words that mean the same thing. And then, the more that he was cornered on the fact that he's not a libertarian and honestly doesn't belong in our circles, the more he squirmed and wiggled, and then he started coming out with stock answers. Newt Gingrich, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Jesus Christ, even Donald Trump are willing to say, oh, I would end the Department of Education. That is not a libertarian position. I mean, it is. But at this point, it's a catchphrase. I'm sorry. It's the favorite thing for Republicans and libertarians alike now to march out. It's the safe one almost. It's almost like it's the safe one. Well, everybody...
Do you think, though, that there's anything to the idea of, like, people will hear libertarians as much as they'll hear libertarians, but they hear Republicans a lot more. And so if Republicans are, even if they're just saying it, and even if they don't intend to follow through on it, because they never intend to follow through on anything other than what their, financial contributors tell them to do. But still, if they're saying it, it's at least being heard by more people. Like, do you think there's any benefit there at all?
Not really, because it becomes this hollow thing, like basically if they end the Department of Education, then they'll no longer be able to set themselves apart by saying, I'll end the Department of Education. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the only thing that makes them different from the Democrats at this point. They're in favor of big taxes. They're in favor of big budgets. They're in favor of big spending. They're in favor of all. They've even shown they're in favor of socialized medicine. So how are Republicans and Democrats different? Oh, well, Republicans want to end the Department of Education.
Yeah, I see.
And now libertarians are like, oh yeah, us too. That's what makes me different. I want to end the Department of Education. That's what makes me different.
Well, actually, a lot of libertarians are still talking about how absolutely necessary
it is. Absolutely necessary. I agree with that. But as soon as I saw Newt Gingrich, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and Bill Weld all say those words in like 72 hours, I saw each of them say the exact same thing. I knew then that this was the new abortion. This was the new thing that, like, we're saying it because we feel this is the thing that can make us different from the other team because there's so much about us that's alike. This is our blue sticker on our ring, on our wing, instead of their red sticker on their wing of the same plane.
Taxation whatsoever. I do believe.
So you would steal from people because you want national defense?
Well, I think we've gone on long enough. But anyway, it's good to see you, sir.
Well, I admire your ability to take hard questions, but I cannot say the same for your lack of principles. You're vouching for Hillary Clinton and what is obviously an infiltration of the Libertarian Party, trying to represent this party with principles that obviously don't align with ours. And I hope someday that you'll actually take a good look at your conscience and see that the non-aggression principle that is the core principle of this party is something that is fundamentally based in ethics, and that what you advocate for when you say that you want a national defense not only flies against what the founders of this country advocated, but these basic ethical principles. And that if you really want to be welcome, and I've right.
What about Semper Fi?
Yeah.
What about celebrating November 10th?
Hey, some of us learn the hard way, but just because we were in the Marine Corps doesn't mean we never learn. Now, you were a governor, you were a prosecutor, and I know you've come some way, but I would hope that you would take, this final step in evolution and realize that what people are advocating for in the Libertarian Party and why so many of us see that you're an infiltrator is that you have advocated for a number of policies that go against libertarian principles, and that we entrusted you with the nomination for vice president in 2016, and you...
But see, that's the fundamental issue right there with what Kokesh is doing, is Kokesh is arguing from a position of libertarianism, quote unquote, that libertarianism is not right now. Libertarians in this country are not sure what they're doing, right? They don't entirely know if they're against education. They don't entirely know if they're against, taxation or the national defense or whatever we're doing. And because we're so divided ourselves, that's why we ended up with, a whatever Johnson Weld ticket. And so, I don't know, it's strange, but it almost seems hollow to me, like, listening to this. Because what Kokesh is saying is absolutely what I believe, but then, like, his saying it, I'm just like, yeah, but that's not...
There's not enough of us that can afford to go to the convention. That's the problem, is that the people that can afford to go are Weld's moneyed friends.
Yeah. And Johnson definitely brought a lot of people with him, too.
And the average libertarian is an average Joe. The average libertarian's not rich. I know they like to cast us as like this super rich blah, but that's not the way it is, man. That's not the way that it is. Most libertarians are just 9 to 5 working guys. They got families and kids, and they've got responsibilities to deal with, and they cannot be having to, oh, well, it's $1,000 for the trip plus a week off of work plus $1,000 for the average. That's a lot of money for the average person, and that's the reason why our nomination and our party is for sale, is because only the people that financially have the ability to go out and just, I want to spend $3,000 for an opportunity to have a little bit of influence in the party. That to me, that means the party's for sale.
Yeah. It does make it hard, though, because I don't know, how else do you get people who can't afford to go to convention involved?
Well, you had the Povertarian Caucus, which was an idea that just never really took off, which was try to raise money for other people who can't afford to go. But libertarians, they want to go to the convention themselves. They don't want to donate $10 so that somebody else can.
Yeah, well, and then also you run into the issue of okay, if someone is going and they can barely afford it, but they're making that effort to get there, they might not have an extra however much, although they probably have an extra $10, but then, people room together and stuff, and there's all sorts of ways to make it cheaper.
There are ways to make it cheaper, but again,
But I think the Povertarians Caucus was out in full force last time as well.
They were, but they only raise enough money to sponsor one or basically their officers is the only people that they can afford to sponsor with the money that they raise. So basically, they raise enough money to be able to go back to the next convention and say, "Hey guys, we should raise money for this."
Right, which is not self-perpetuating, really.
No, it's not. It's it's hard on the activists to try to have to raise money like that constantly. I know what it's like to spend years of basically feeling like you're fundraising nonstop for years. Again, he challenged Weld. Good on you, Adam. I love the fact that you went out there and you challenged him. I love the fact that you pushed this to him and were like, look, because he doesn't belong. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't belong. He's not even in our quadrant of the Newman test or whatever. He's not even in our quadrant. He's like a blue dog Democrat.
Posing as a Republican,
yeah.
Posing as a Libertarian.
Yeah. Well, and you've got this Mohammed Hirosh or whatever that was there with him. He is a hardcore anti-Muslim atheist activist in the Republican Party. Doesn't like Trump because Trump doesn't like immigrants from the country that he's from. So switches out of the Republican Party, buys a lifetime membership to the LP this past 2016, and basically is very, very open about the fact that he is here, and the people that he came to the convention with are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. They bought lifetime memberships. They plan on changing the party before it's over, and the platform has 1, maybe 2 conventions left before they get rid of it, period.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips, tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, April 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.83 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,963. Antiwar.com reports the Islamic State bombers attacked 2 voter registration centers in Afghanistan on Sunday. The first and biggest attack hit Kabul, while a smaller secondary attack struck outside a center in Pul-e-Khumri in Baghlan province. At least 63 were killed and over 100 wounded. The Kabul attack left at least 57 people killed by itself. Identities are not available, but the site attacked was in the Shiite-dominated part of the capital. The Islamic State referred to the attacks as targeting apostates, suggesting they were trying to kill Shiites. This is common for them, as the Islamic State often goes after religious minorities. The second, smaller attack in Baghlan province did not actually hit the voter registration center itself. Instead, it was a roadside bomb which hit a vehicle outside of the center. A family of 6 was killed, and the Islamic State also claimed credit for this. Afghan parliamentary elections are currently scheduled for October 20th. The vote was supposed to take place in 2016, but was postponed over political reform questions. The reforms are still heavily debated, as they often are in corruption-rife Afghanistan. Selling the public on the merits of registering to vote is going to be difficult if groups like the Islamic State start making those registration centers a target. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. They don't feed the banks, they're Bitcoin preferred, and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple is offering free battery replacement on certain MacBook Pro laptop models following an issue that caused the batteries to expand. The replacement program extends to 13-inch MacBook Pro non-touch bar units manufactured between October 2016 and October 2017 that feature a component that may fail and cause the built-in battery to expand. Apple said the battery issue is not a safety concern, and battery replacements will be offered free of charge at Apple service centers, retail stores, or by mailing the device into the Apple Repair Center. On the website announcing the replacement program, there's a field for MacBook owners to enter their computer serial number to determine if it is eligible for free replacement. Any customer who paid to replace their battery before the program was announced can also contact Apple to request a refund. The program is available to customers worldwide and covers the affected units for 5 years after the first retail sale, but does not extend the MacBook Pro's standard warranty coverage. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Congress needs to consider rolling back the spending bill that U.S. Republicans brokered with Democrats last month because lawmakers voted to enact the $1.3 trillion legislation without reading it, according to an aide to President Donald Trump on Sunday. White House Legislative Director Mark Short said the spending bill, which ran more than 2,000 pages, was rushed into place to avoid a government shutdown. He urged Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell to consider new rescission legislation with spending cuts sought by fiscal conservatives in the U.S. House. Short told NBC's Meet the Press, nobody saw the text of the bill within 24 hours because the process in Congress is broken, adding, we would ask the Senate to have patience and look at the packages that get sent to them. Some Republicans want a rescissions bill that would cut up to $60 billion in non-military spending, funds that were crucial to winning Democratic support. But reopening the bipartisan deal could divide Republicans during a midterm election year in which they are vulnerable to a Democratic surge. The party is already struggling against unexpected turbulence over House Speaker Paul Ryan's decision to retire. A rescission vote could also raise the prospect of another embarrassing Republican failure in the 100-seat Senate, which the party currently controls by a 51-49 margin. Republican Senator Susan Collins said on Sunday that she would not support a bill that unwinds the bipartisan deal. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, whom Ryan has endorsed as his replacement, wants to use a rescissions bill to implement big spending cuts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Take the Field's mission is to inform baseball players that physical activity is nothing to be scared of, that a little bit of running can be fun.
Now, Rebecca, this obesity problem is nothing new.
Well, right. There is a culture of obesity in baseball that has been around for years. I mean, coaches even sub in healthy pinch runners instead of encouraging their overweight players to hustle, depriving them of the only cardiovascular exercise they might have a chance to get.
And a lot of these athletes have been playing baseball since they were kids.
Well, right. So they might have never learned any healthy habits.
Baseball is fine in moderation, but many of these men spend over 200 days a year playing it, and that adds up.
The program encourages players once an hour to take a 15-minute break from baseball to do something active, like go up and down some stairs, go for a walk, or play some basketball.
All right, well, thanks, Rebecca. If you're a baseball coach and you're worried about your players' health, go to takethefield.gov for a list of healthy activities and nutritious snacks. Coming up next, is America brains get worse hearing words correct?
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. On the Call to Freedom.
All right, welcome here to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from our Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, it is time for your hour of the top crypto news of the day. Starting off here with Bitcoin Cash. Author here says Bitcoin Cash looks overbought and extended after an over 80% gain last week. After having rallied more than 80% in the last week, Bitcoin Cash is beginning to look a little overbought and due for a pullback. The world's fourth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization confirmed a bull breakout on April 15th by crossing the long-term descending trend line. The price rise occurred alongside a broader market recovery seen after Bitcoin's $1,000 rally on April 12th. It also looks to have been further buoyed by a technical hard fork upgrade planned for next month. As a result, Bitcoin Cash has outperformed its peers over the last 7 days, rising well above the $1,000 mark. Clearly, the hard fork news seems to have played a big role in boosting Bitcoin Cash's prices. The Bitcoin Cash network is scheduled to change the cryptocurrency's underlying code, increasing its block size from 8 megs to 32 megs on May the 15th. However, there is no plan to airdrop a new coin to current holders. And the current blockchain will merely be replaced by the updated version Bitcoin ABC 0-17-0 if it gains sufficient support. So while BCH investors will not be making free money out of thin air, prices have still rallied sharply, possibly because investors tend to associate hard forks with free money. And once the investors realize the hard fork is only a software upgrade, the rally may well turn out to run out of steam. Backing up the arguments, the technical charts show the rally is overdone and a pullback could be in the cards. As of writing BCH today, BCH is changing hands at $1,413 on Bitfinex, up 15% in just the last 24 hours. The overall bias remains bullish, as suggested by the upside break of the long-term descending trend line on April the 15th and the ascending 5 and 10-day moving averages. Daily trading volume has also jumped 374% week on week, signaling a strong rally. However, the relative strength index stands well above 80, signaling short-term overbought conditions with a rally of over 88% in the last 7 days. Pullback to the 100-day number cannot be ruled out, although dips will likely be short-lived. On the higher side, resistance is lined up at $1,480, the January 23rd low, and $1,630, the February 18th high, and as well as $1,788 and $1,938. Only a daily close below the 10-day would abort the overall bullish view, and support is seen at $1,167, $1,100, and $1,000. Anything close to $978 should trigger a market crash. Wow, that's pretty. That's a pretty detailed prediction by Mr. Omar Godbole. Omkar. I've never heard of that name before. Anyway, so Bitcoin Cash looks like it might be overbought according to this. I've got Bitcoin Cash trading at $1,401 in my wallet today. Bitcoin back below 9,000. But I don't hear anything about Verge possibly being oversold, even though it's had a much higher gain in the same amount of time, going from around 2.5 cents to just under 8 in the same period of time. So we may see a little bitty, we might see a little drop coming in the next few days. So what do you think about Bitcoin Cash? Why don't you give us a call, 603-283-6160. I used to buy Bitcoin Cash. There's something going on with the Coinomi wallet. I don't know if anybody else is having these issues. A lot of times when I get Bitcoin Cash, I end up stuck with it for days and weeks at a time because Coinomi's wallet just all of a sudden stops working. I can't transfer it. I can't shapeshift it. I can't changely it. I can't use it at other exchanges. All of a sudden, Coinomi can't connect to the Bitcoin Cash network. And it will tell you that that's the reason why it can't do anything with my coins, is that it can't connect to the wallet's network. Does anybody know what that's about, I wonder? If you do, give me a call on that one as well, 603-283-6160. Let's see here. We got plenty of news. I really hate to start another story with this here. This is why it sucks when we have everybody's sick days. Because if it's just left to just me rambling on by myself for, the next hour until Melanie shows up, and then she'll be in for the last hour with us discussing politics. But you get stuck with me meandering for a while, unfortunately, because, we'll get to the... I basically what happens is I pick a lot of these stories based on the fact that I know that I have one opinion, and more than likely Tom or Aria have a differing opinion. So I pick stories based on things that I'm fairly sure are going to create, not major conflict, but at the very least disagreement. We're going to argue about our different positions on some of these stories. And unfortunately, I don't have anyone here to argue with today. So you want to argue with me, give me a call, 603-283-6160, or you can hit us up on our LRN Skype listener line at lrn.fm studio, or you can hit us on the Discord line. It comes in real nice and clear there. That's at discord.lrn.fm. Now, when we get back here in a little while, we're actually going to be talking about the New York Federal Reserve is now having, New York and New York's got all their anti-cryptocurrency laws and all that kind of stuff. Well, the New York Federal Reserve is issuing an opinion today. This just not even 24 hours ago, the story come out about 19 hours ago, that the New York Federal Reserve, well, it's issuing an opinion on whether or not cryptocurrency is money. We'll get into that, and we'll tell you what the Federal Reserve in New York came up with and whether it's decided crypto is money or not when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Stouffer's, helping bring your family together with wholesome dinner options, even on the busiest of nights. Find dinner table ideas to bring your family together at letsfixdinner.com. To get kids involved in dinnertime conversation, ask specific questions, not broad ones. Instead of what happened today at school, try what was the best thing that happened today. The more specific you are, the more they'll have to say. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
Most people would say, well, yeah, you've got the cops. The cops are there to protect and serve. Wrong again. In theory, the cops are there to protect and serve, but in reality, there is no duty to protect. Cops are not obligated to offer any protection. If you are giving allegiance to a government in return for some sort of protection offered by the government, but that government is not obligated to protect you, then why are you giving allegiance to that government? They have voided their half of the agreement. And when one party voids an agreement, the entire agreement is void. There is no such thing as a citizen.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.fm. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour. يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.fm.
What's up, Big Gunner? Let me tell you guys, Big Gunner. I am so excited. I am so happy. Let me tell you, I
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Now, just in case anybody is too dumb that's listening to know this already, don't buy BitConnect. Please don't. We only play these show bumpers to make fun of the fact that this guy was so funny that they made like 11 different dance remixes with him acting like a fool, like 3 days before the biggest exit scheme in cryptocurrency history is what like the ending of the video that I was just playing for you as the remix ends. It says pulled off how BitConnect pulled off the biggest cryptocurrency exit scam in history. See, that's what happens when the Chinese people send me the food and it has a giant hair and I have to send it back and then have it re-delivered and it doesn't get here till halfway through Crypto Hour. Then I have to scarf the whole thing down in like a 3.5 minute break. Indigestion. So I promised when we got back we were going to talk about, it turns out that, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. You've got a nominee to the New York Federal Reserve Bank. Well, he's decided, thank goodness for us, cryptocurrency isn't currency. The current president and chief executive officer of the San Francisco Federal Reserve and the man expected to soon be the New York Federal Reserve Bank, John Williams. He's rejected the suggestion that cryptocurrencies comprise currency. New York Federal Reserve nominee, Mr. Williams, the man nominated to head the New York Federal Reserve, stated cryptocurrency doesn't pass the basic test of what a currency should be. Wow, where have I heard that before? Mr. Williams asserted that currencies should comprise basically something with a store of value. already shows he doesn't understand Bitcoin. Also emphasizing the need for currencies to be elastic in order to adapt to a wide range of economic conditions and circumstances. Despite this criticism, Mr. Williams failed to further elaborate on how cryptocurrencies fail or could be better or at fulfilling the aforementioned monetary functions. The current San Francisco Federal Reserve president also stated that the idea of the supply of currency and thinking about currency really belongs more in the sphere of government and central banks. My view is it's really more of a promise of technology. At least Mr. Williams acknowledged that his extensive experience in central banking had left him, quote, very biased regarding this issue regarding issues pertaining to cryptocurrency. Mr. Williams also criticized the setup and institutional arrangements around Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, claiming that the current cryptocurrency sphere suffers from problems with fraud, problems with money laundering, problems with terror financing. Okay, now that's kind of funny to me because terrorists get money and drug dealers launder. I mean, what the hell do they think that was being used before? You know, when we were funneling money in the 80s during the Iran-Contra scandal, there was no Bitcoin. Well, I mean, there wasn't, right? And then add to that, who was it? Who was a big, well, like Blow or Capone. There you go. Capone, there was no Bitcoin in the days of the mafia. They used cash. Does that make cash a problematic thing to have? Like, oh, well, you should avoid cash because, you know, drug dealers use it. That's how they get, you know, that's how they get the dog to bark on your wallet, is because, you know, drug dealers use money. Wow. As a matter of fact, I would contend that money and cash are still far more popular in circles with people that use drugs because, well, in, say, Knoxville, Tennessee, or Nashville, you're going to buy and sell your drugs with cash, and the drug dealer is going to want cash because the only thing he can spend there is cash. So if cryptocurrencies are problematic because they can be used for fraud or for money laundering or for terrorist financing, then the same can be said exponentially more for that green paper that the Federal Reserve prints. Now let's add into that the millions of deaths that are caused by the loans that are handed out by the Federal Reserve for that cash. Or the debt slavery that our children are sold into on a daily basis as our cash debt to the very same Federal Reserve Bank that's telling us how evil everything besides cash is. I mean, come on. It's not like they have a, like he said, he's very biased. You know, at least they're on the up and up and saying, look, we have an agenda. We don't like cryptocurrency. If we talk about it, we're talking about it from a position of complete and total bias. You know, at least they're willing to make these assertions. You know, they're willing to put this information out there and let people, you know, at least know, hey, we have an opinion before we ever do any investigation. We don't like crypto because it undermines us. Now, Mr. Williams' comments, they come following weeks of increasingly hostile rhetoric issued by representatives of various Federal Reserve banks in the United States. Now, while we're doing this, I want to hop over here really quick. Virtual currencies have the option to be used for money laundering, supporting terrorism, and the exchange of sums between wrongdoers. Now, that sounds really similar to the exact same thing that we just heard a moment ago, right? Well, that came from this guy from the New York Federal Reserve. But this quote that I just read you, virtual currencies have the option of being used for money laundering, supporting terrorism, and the exchange of sums between wrongdoers. That came from the the Supreme Ayatollah of Iran. That's right. Now the Federal Reserve Bank and the Ayatollahs of Iran are preaching the same message literally within 24 hours of each other. So, freedom lovers, which side do you want to be on?
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
Live from the Vertcoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 47 here on LRN.FM. When you kill the faucet, be color-fied to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
That's right. It's Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. I have no idea what just happened. I pushed a letter on the keyboard, and for some reason, the R made all of the sound turn off. So, anyway, we've been talking about this story about a nominee from the New York Federal Reserve, and I want to make sure that I read this to you again. I want to read both quotes. Where's the one from the guy from the New York Federal Reserve? Here we go. All right. So, quote, this is the quote from Mr. Williams, okay? Mr. Williams criticized the setup and institutional arrangements around Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, claiming that the cryptocurrency sphere suffers from, quote, problems with fraud, problems with money laundering, terror financing, a lot of problems there. End quote. Now, let's shift over here to the, let's see here. This is from the Central Bank of Iran. This is their state-run bank. It sent out a circular on Sunday to prohibit the use of technology within financial institutions, the country's national agency reports. The announcement made public yesterday was passed by Iran's anti-money laundering body in December. They warn, quote, virtual currencies have the option to be used for money laundering, supporting terrorism, and the exchange of sums between wrongdoers. Wow. It's almost as if they're saying the same exact thing. You mean authoritarians on all sides of the line love authority and hate things that will encourage freedom? No, you don't say. There is discussion of possibly blocking domestic cryptocurrency activities given both the availability of technology and the supportive views held by public officials. The country's information communication technology minister, for example, revealed in February that Iran's central bank is developing a cryptocurrency that would be administered by the state government. In comments from last November, the secretary of Iran's crypto cyberspace authority went so far as to say the nation welcomes Bitcoin, provided there are proper regulations. Earlier, central banker Nasser Hakimi, deputy director of new technologies, made remarks in November that the central bank is studying Bitcoin and that it plans a comprehensive review of its policies in this area. His statement, however, was focused on the uncertainty and risk brought about by cryptocurrency speculation in the market. So the Central Bank of Iran has the exact same message as the Central Bank of America. And on top of that, let's just make sure we get all this in one little package. And on top of that is creating its own Ripple, Fed.gov.coin, in order to contain and control that so that people will spend their good crypto on state crypto. And so then the state owns all the good crypto and you get their worthless Fed.gov.Ripple, coin. That sound about right? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Because, you literally have both of them saying, the Fed likes Ripple, but Iran's like, we want to create our own federal government-sponsored, administered, and, looked over coin. But we love Bitcoin. You're welcome to come here and trade your good, hard-earned cryptocurrency for our worthless, Ayatollah coin. Because that's what crypto was about. Crypto was about creating this thing so that the government could eventually take it over and we could use our good thing that was without government influence and we could sell it for this worthless garbage that is controlled by the very state and central planning apparatus that we were trying to get away from when Bitcoin was invented to start with. So let's see, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. What do we got? You got the New York Federal Reserve and the Iranian Federal Reserve have the exact same message. Is that surprising to anybody? If you're shocked, so I'm expecting this phone not to ring at all. If you're shocked by this, call us, 603-283-6160. If you support this, give us a call, 603-283-6160. See, I'll keep asking questions that no one would have an answer to that they would want to say on the air. And then that can be our excuse for why we don't get as many calls as I'd like. Anyway, this was another one that I thought was kind of interesting. Coinbase. Coinbase is not crypto. Just so you know. I mean, in case you haven't noticed, you didn't know already. Coinbase is not crypto. Jesus Christ. It's like Ripple, only for exchanges. It's fed.gov.coin. Fed.gov.exchange. You know how we know? Because now they're working with the government to silence certain groups. You got WikiLeaks shop reporting suspension of their Coinbase account due to a violation of terms of service. The WikiLeaks shop, the merchandise arm of international anonymous publishing nonprofit WikiLeaks, reported on Twitter Friday, April 20th, that their account with crypto wallet and exchange Coinbase has been blocked. Thank you. This is from an email from Coinbase to WikiLeaks shop. Hello. Thank you for your interest in Coinbase. Our primary goal is to make digital currency safe and secure for our customers. Coinbase is a regulated money services business under FinCEN, and as a part of achieving this goal, we are legally obligated to implement regulatory compliance mechanisms. Upon careful review, we believe your account is engaged in prohibited use in violation of our terms of service. We regret to inform you that we can no longer provide you with access to our service. We respectfully request that you follow the on-screen instructions presented when you log into your Coinbase account to send any remaining balances off-site to external addresses. And that came with a tweet from the WikiLeaks shop. Announcement. Coinbase is blocking the official @WikiLeaks shop from its platform without notice or explanation. WikiLeaks shops contain a screen grab from the alleged email from Coinbase. It states the organizations violated their terms of service. All proceeds of the shop go to WikiLeaks operations, and customers can pay in Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Neo, Namecoin, Vertcoin, Monero, and Zcash through coinpayments.net. The official WikiLeaks Twitter posted a call for a global blockade of Coinbase in response to the block. BTC advocate Andreas Antonopoulos tweeted that Coinbase has a repeated history as Bitcoin has played an important role for WikiLeaks from the time that the nonprofit was legally unable to use traditional banking systems. We've come full circle. Many people's interest in Bitcoin started when WikiLeaks was out under an extrajudicial embargo by Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and banks. Now Coinbase is repeating that history. Whoops. Last fall, WikiLeaks leader Julian Assange thanked the U.S. government on Twitter for forcing the organization to rely on Bitcoin due to the banking embargo, giving WikiLeaks a 50,000% return. Assange also urged WikiLeaks donors to use cryptocurrencies for their donations as a way to avoid the financial blockade. The WikiLeaks website accepts Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero, Zcash, and Zcash for donations. Antonopoulos added in a comment to his tweet that the embargo by Coinbase is unlike the first in that it's purely symbolic, as there are other crypto wallets out there. But the symbolism is a pretty poignant reminder of what centralization and banking regulations mean. And here's my own 2 cents. Coinbase has shown us once again they're willing to lick the hand that holds the whip for their own
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour, brought to you by helium.com. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार के क्रिप्टो आवर को, जिसके प्रस्तुत करता है helium.com.
Is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire, 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 fire.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire in our wonderful little crypto community here. And we'd love for you to come up here and visit us sometime. It is a nice little spot. And there's an opportunity for you to do so coming up here in not very long from now, in June. It's going to be Fork Fest is what it's called. You can join other liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, activists, and libertarians this summer from June 14th through June the 18th for Fork Fest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and, well, you're invited to come create whatever experience that you would like others to have. Fork Fest is decentralized. That means nobody's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's completely up to you to create what happens. You're welcome to come out and throw together a party or a contest, a game show, or put together speeches. It's really up to you. Or you can just come, sit back, relax, grab a cooler, lawn chair, tent, hotel room, and just hang out and relax with some really awesome liberty-loving folks. Again, that's Fork Fest at Rogers Campground in Lancaster, New Hampshire, June 14th through the 18th, immediately before Pork Fest. And you can come out, go to Fork, that's Fork with an F, forkfest.party. You can learn more there. You can join the Telegram group or the web forum. Again, that's forkfest.party. Come on out. You'll have an opportunity to meet lots of LRN show hosts. It's going to be a really, really good time. I hope to see you there. Now, we've been talking about basically WikiLeaks has been stopped by Coinbase. And it's not... See, before it was the banksters. It makes sense. The politicians and the banks are in bed together. Well, what does that tell you about Coinbase then? Coinbase is going to shut down the WikiLeaks store. They're not selling drugs. It's a WikiLeaks store. It's a place to buy T-shirts and DVDs and keychains and coffee cups. But it's a violation of terms of service because they work against the state. This is what happens as cryptocurrency becomes more and more mainstream. You're going to see this happening more and more often. I mean, is it not funny that a lot of cryptocurrencies' first push of popularity came from people, if you wanted to give money to WikiLeaks, you had to do it in crypto because the banks had an economic embargo against them. And now we have Coinbase that is starting it as well. I mean, and it's not like with the banks where if you don't do business with the banks, you can't do business with anybody. There are lots of options out there besides Coinbase. This is seriously, it's symbolic. It's what do you call it? It's like what's like CARE and ISNA doing gun and climate change polling right now. There's no need for it. Nobody really gives a rat's ass what the Muslim opinion of the opinion of American Muslims is on climate change. We're less than a full percentage of the population. Nobody gives a damn what we think. Oh, well, 2/3 of 1% believe. Nobody cares. So why do it? Why put all the money and the effort into it? I'll tell you why. Because we want to make sure that the Democrat Party knows our efforts to indoctrinate our community to support you and to support your position on these issues is going very well. Look at how successful we are. Now, please give us more favor. And that's the same thing that this is. It's the same exact thing. Coinbase is they're kissing the ring. That's what this is. Coinbase is kissing the ring. So all those people that defended Coinbase before, oh, well, when the feds came around and they wanted my information, Coinbase fought back and well, they only, they only gave the information for those people that the feds absolutely forced them. Today, now, at this very moment. What about 3 months from now? What about 6 months from now? What about a year from now? How much is Coinbase willing to kiss the ring? I mean, look at it's the WikiLeaks store, man. I'm going to go here. Let's go to the WikiLeaks store. Come on. While we're online here, while we are here on the air, let's go to the WikiLeaks store. WikiLeaks shop. WikiLeaks shop. Where's the website? WikiLeaks shop. The nonprofit WikiLeaks reported. Okay, here we go. WikiLeaks. No, that's not what I want. I want to go to WikiLeaks shop. So, is it? WikiLeaks shop isn't on the dark web, is it? I hope it's not. I wish somebody else was in here that knew answers to these questions. The WikiLeaks shop. Okay, let's see. What do we got here at the WikiLeaks shop? All right, let's see. I've got T-shirts. We've got kids T-shirts. Vault 7 Year Zero. I love WikiLeaks. A picture of a kitty cat. Something about an embassy. What's it say? It says embassy cat. I live in the Ecuadorian embassy with Julian Assange. Yeah, so it's the cat that lives. A picture of Julian Assange's cat. Let's see here. We got some phone cases that say keep calm and encrypt. Let's see here. What else we got? I got some stickers. Free press. Pro free press. Pro WikiLeaks. I heart WikiLeaks. I'm with WikiLeaks. The 8 sticker $50 bumpers and 4 regular sticker pack. Let's see what else we got here. There's got to be something. Where's the drugs? Let's see. We got a poster. Looks like too much coffee. Oh, it's some blue. It's like some Mr. Meeseeks with police hats on, sitting in front of Julian Assange. Typographical Assange poster. I want you to blow the whistle poster from Edward Snowden. Let's see here. Oh, we got Crypto Kitties. There are official. There's the Embassy Cat Crypto Kitty, the official WikiLeaks Crypto Kitty. Let's see here. Books. How I Lost by Hillary Clinton. When Google Met WikiLeaks. Cypherpunks, Freedom and the Future of the Internet, and Women Whistleblowing and WikiLeaks. So, oh, here we go. This must be what it is. The accessories. Let's see what we got here in accessories. I got coffee mugs. 1984 is not, and we got a picture of Julian Assange made up like a wizard from Magic the Gathering. I'm offended by that because I really like Magic the Gathering. Oh, maybe it's these First Intelligence Agency of the People. Maybe it's because they're making fun of the CIA symbol. Maybe that's it. Well, let's see. What else here? I mean, there's got to be something. Make leaks, not war. Okay. Well, I mean, tote bags, laptop sleeves, poly scarves. Oh, that's what it is. It's the scarf. They're selling scarves. So they saw scarves, and the people at Coinbase thought ISIS. I'm serious. Like, I'm looking through the WikiLeaks, this website here, of all the stuff that their WikiLeaks shop sells. And I mean, unless this racerback tank, unless this 3-strap racerback WikiLeaks tank top that looks like a crime against fashion, I mean, unless that's what they're, I mean, like, I don't see Coinbase. I challenge you. Coinbase should make a public statement. What is it? What is it that WikiLeaks has done? What has the WikiLeaks shop sold that violates your terms of service? I don't see anything but T-shirts, coffee cups, and books. Is free speech now a violation of Coinbase's terms of service? If it is, I think it's time for everybody in the crypto community to pull every single penny you've got out of Coinbase today. You want to help the state? Then we won't help you.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, April 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.83 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,963. Antiwar.com reports the Islamic State bombers attacked 2 voter registration centers in Afghanistan on Sunday. The first and biggest attack hit Kabul, while a smaller secondary attack struck outside a center in Pul-e-Khumri in Baghlan province. At least 63 were killed and over 100 wounded. The Kabul attack left at least 57 people killed by itself. Identities are not available, but the site attacked was in the Shiite-dominated part of the capital. The Islamic State referred to the attacks as targeting apostates, suggesting they were trying to kill Shiites. This is common for them, as the Islamic State often goes after religious minorities. The second, smaller attack in Baghlan province did not actually hit the voter registration center itself. Instead, it was a roadside bomb which hit a vehicle outside of the center. A family of 6 was killed, and the Islamic State also claimed credit for this. Afghan parliamentary elections are currently scheduled for October 20th. The vote was supposed to take place in 2016, but was postponed over political reform questions. The reforms are still heavily debated, as they often are in corruption-rife Afghanistan. Selling the public on the merits of registering to vote is going to be difficult if groups like the Islamic State start making those registration centers a target. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. They don't feed the banks, they're Bitcoin preferred, and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple is offering free battery replacement on certain MacBook Pro laptop models following an issue that caused the batteries to expand. The replacement program extends to 13-inch MacBook Pro non-touch bar units manufactured between October 2016 and October 2017 that feature a component that may fail and cause the built-in battery to expand. Apple said the battery issue is not a safety concern, and battery replacements will be offered free of charge at Apple service centers, retail stores, or by mailing the device into the Apple Repair Center. On the website announcing the replacement program, there's a field for MacBook owners to enter their computer serial number to determine if it is eligible for free replacement. Any customer who paid to replace their battery before the program was announced can also contact Apple to request a refund. The program is available to customers worldwide and covers the affected units for 5 years after the first retail sale, but does not extend the MacBook Pro's standard warranty coverage. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Congress needs to consider rolling back the spending bill that U.S. Republicans brokered with Democrats last month because lawmakers voted to enact the $1.3 trillion legislation without reading it, according to an aide to President Donald Trump on Sunday. White House Legislative Director Mark Short said the spending bill, which ran more than 2,000 pages, was rushed into place to avoid a government shutdown. He urged Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell to consider new rescission legislation with spending cuts sought by fiscal conservatives in the U.S. House. Short told NBC's Meet the Press, nobody saw the text of the bill within 24 hours because the process in Congress is broken, adding, we would ask the Senate to have patience and look at the packages that get sent to them. Some Republicans want a rescissions bill that would cut up to $60 billion in non-military spending, funds that were crucial to winning Democratic support. But reopening the bipartisan deal could divide Republicans during a midterm election year in which they are vulnerable to a Democratic surge. The party is already struggling against unexpected turbulence over House Speaker Paul Ryan's decision to retire. A rescission vote could also raise the prospect of another embarrassing Republican failure in the 100-seat Senate, which the party currently controls by a 51-49 margin. Republican Senator Susan Collins said on Sunday that she would not support a bill that unwinds the bipartisan deal. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, whom Ryan has endorsed as his replacement, wants to use a rescissions bill to implement big spending cuts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
From the admission of Ant Colony 000082567 KLN 00067X into the Union in 1897, to the day in 1817 when embarrassed construction workers realized they put the Erie Canal in the wrong place, The Onion looks back at This Week in History. On August 5, 1962, Nelson Mandela was jailed until 1990, becoming fully rehabilitated through the South African penal system, and thanks to the services provided to him while imprisoned, emerged from jail a successful politician and internationally revered symbol of peace. Mandela's record of overcoming hardships and moving South Africa beyond its formidable racial struggles is a lasting testament to South Africa's correctional facilities, and prove that the penal system's small cells, demeaning work duties, and minimal rations are exactly the tools needed for a prisoner to truly become a reformed citizen.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom, live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Goes out to Jerry Garcia and Bob Marley. All my friends are stoners, lighting up all of the time. Everybody has a mason jar. Can you guess what I put in mine? We all go to Jamaica once or
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's a wonderful day here. It's been in the mid to high 60s, but I'm rolling solo. Melanie is outside Facebooking on the porch, and while she waits to come in and jump on for her show. Now, the last segment, we were talking about how, the Coinbase, and I'm just going to put it right now, hashtag boycott Coinbase. That's right. Hashtag boycott Coinbase because, Coinbase sucks. Coinbase is pro-state. Coinbase will give your information to the government. And now, if you do anything to harm the state, Coinbase will kiss the hand that holds the whip. So there you go. If you want to be associated with that kind of stuff, then fine. I'm glad that it took them forever to get back to me, that by the time they'd got back to me, I had moved on to other things. I'd moved on to other exchanges and other things. Coinbase, I was done. So now I will just never use Coinbase. Pretty sure we're going to be doing some fed.gov.coin and some Coinbase is not crypto t-shirts for ForkFest this year. So, yeah. Now, I am finding out I'll be taking a phone call with the Republican Liberty Caucus folks in Minnesota or Missouri. I don't remember which one it is. Let's see here. Who are they from? It's Republican Liberty Caucus of, I don't know, Minnesota, something like that. And no, I don't want that. Where are the people in it? Anyway, yeah. So, there we go. View profile. And where is this? It's in Minnesota. So yeah, the Republican Liberty Caucus of Minnesota has invited me out to speak. So if you want t-shirts and all those good things, you'll be able to pick them up there. I'll probably be giving a speech on the historic evolution of the concept of liberty and how freedom brings us together from 5,000 years ago in China to modern thinkers like those that you hear right here on this very radio station. All of them saying this, all of them contributing their small bit to the evolution of the concept of freedom and liberty. Now, I wanted to cover, this is kind of funny. I understand Southern Poverty Law Center is a hate group and everybody hates them. I'm not a fan of theirs either, but sometimes when they cover stories, some of the things they cover is funny, and there are issues that you and I really actually want to hear about. Now, everybody knows the alt-right is constantly yelling about degeneracy and the good old days and, white America and white Christian America. And if you could just get rid of they want to keep the racism, but, some of them are like, if you could just have the 1950s without the segregation, it would be perfect, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out that a big name among the alt-right, you guys know him, he used to be on this station here, Mr. Christopher Cantwell. He got a taste of that old-fashioned, rural, white Christian America not long ago. It turns out he is up for a bond hearing later this week, tomorrow, for charges related to what happened in Charlottesville. But he has a recent arrest in another Virginia county that may have an impact on the outcome. On the 31st of March, Cantwell was arrested by police in Loudoun County and charged with public swearing and intoxication before being released on his own recognizance. Next week, he faces a bond hearing in Albemarle County, evaluating his current bond, now set at $25,000, on charges of using illegal tear gas during last month's infamous Tiki Torch March in Charlottesville. His intoxication charge, which may affect his bond status, is just the latest in a string of incidents where Cantwell has appeared to be his own worst enemy. His woes began in Charlotte, where he appeared in a viral Vice documentary, and his conduct ensured his name was synonymous with ugly racism for viewers around the world. Shortly after, upon learning of his criminal charges, he posted a tearful video that earned him the moniker the Crying Nazi. And just last month, he found himself in hot water with other members of the racist alt-right after revealing that he was talking with the FBI. Charlottesville, he was charged with 3 felony counts related to an incident with pepper spray. 2 of those were dropped as he goes to trial on his sole remaining charge of malicious use of gas on August the 13th. So I grew up, I hear these alt-right guys are always talking about, how they want things to be. A lot of them, they grew up in cities or they're from places where that just doesn't really exist. I grew up in the rural South. Okay, when I say rural South, I mean he was arrested in Loudoun County, Virginia. I grew up in Loudoun County, Tennessee. Yeah. It's a small rural area nestled at the base of the Smoky Mountains. And it's the same kind of place. And you know what that white Christian America was not known for? Freedom. They weren't known for respecting your right to freedom of speech. They aren't. You think they are? Go watch The People versus Larry Flint. That's the America. They didn't want Larry putting those magazines out. That's the America that you're saying we should get back to. This is like you've got people that are saying, or that used to be libertarians, and they're like, I'm libertarian and I want things like this. Well, guess what, man? Then you're not a libertarian. You're not. If you think things like public decency laws are freedom, where you can't curse in public, you think that's freedom? Oh, well, there's certain no-no words that if a policeman hears you say them in public, we'll arrest you. That's freedom now? This is what libertarians support? This is the grand, wonderful, I can't wait to get back to it? Because that's what that is. I grew up around it. I grew up around what these people are talking about, the good old days, man. Let me clue y'all in. The rural South up in the mountains was 30 years behind the rest of the country developmentally until the invention of the internet. Socially, we were 30 years behind the rest of the country. When I watch movies from the 70s, I'm seeing stuff like it was when I was in beginning middle school in the late 80s. I'm watching these shows about the 80s, and it's like I saw one the other day, and they were like, "Oh, well, this is supposed to be about the 80s," and I watched it. And it was like watching contemporary kids with an 80s soundtrack. Because the 80s I grew up in wasn't the 80s that kids up here in the North grew up in. I grew up in rural Southern America 80s, where the use of the N-word was liberal and very public. People just spoke like that. It was normal. To see the huge differences and social changes that have happened just where I grew up in the course of the last 30 years, it's like living on 2 different planets. And there are still places that haven't evolved past that, and Chris finally got a taste of what those places are like. I wonder if he's changed his mind now that he sees what the good old days actually look like.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
A dead iPod is remembered as expensive. It's the Onion Radio News. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Despite heroic efforts at resuscitation, a third-generation 30-gigabyte iPod, serial number AP356372, was pronounced dead early this morning at the age of 2. The iPod's closest companion, Sarah Zartman, says she'll never forget the great music it used to play, nor will she forget the nearly $500 price tag.
I'll remember those 3,500 songs as long as I live. That iPod was convenient, portable, and really pricey.
Zartman added that had she known the iPod's lithium-ion battery would have such a short lifespan, she might have spent more time listening to it. AP356372 is survived by a BlackBerry. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Disclaimer. When I die, I want to be put into orbit around Earth in a flying kick position. This is my dream. My dream. My dream. My dream. My dream. This is my dream.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, we are joined now in studio, and by we, I mean me, by Melanie from Free Talk Live. How you doing tonight, Mel?
Pretty good, you?
You know, I've been here talking to myself for the last 2 hours, so I feel kind of like a crazy person.
Yeah, that makes it more difficult.
Yeah. If it weren't for the fact that I had the chat room yelling at me about and James the mouth-breathing dullard, you know, going on about what an evil human being I am, I would really believe that I was literally talking to myself for the last, 2.5 hours.
I wouldn't base not talking to yourself based on what James said, because he might be responding without you actually saying something.
Right,
so that's
he's
not really
responding
a good
to
indication
himself.
of anything. He might be responding to something you said back in 2009. Who knows,
You never know. By the time he gets to the third suitcase of Natty Ice, we really aren't sure if he's yelling at me or some guy named Will that he knew in the 80s. So, anyway, we moved on. We were talking last hour about, hell, I don't even remember now. Must not have been that important. About Chris Cantwell getting a taste of what the good old days are actually like. He decided to go to Loudoun County I grew up in Loudoun County, Tennessee. So he goes to Loudoun County, Virginia, which is just as country, and gets drunk and starts cursing in public.
So I read that statute, and I don't know if you have more information than I do. I didn't bother digging into it, but I did read the statute. The statute is you're guilty of that crime if you do either of those things.
Yes.
So if you soberly say a curse word,
in
that's a
public.
crime, or if you're drunk.
Yes.
It's not necessarily both.
He did both. It's public. A lot of places in the South, particularly the rural South, have what they call public decency laws.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that ran afoul of them when I was in high school in Florida. He wore a Cannibal Corpse T-shirt, or was it Cannibal Corpse? Yeah, I think it was Cannibal Corpse. Who did Cruelty and the Beast?
I have no idea.
I don't remember either. Anyways, it was one of those really, really hard Filth. Cradle of Filth. That's what it was. Cradle of Filth. There we go. Anyway, he wore a Cradle of Filth T-shirt, and the T-shirt said Jesus is a word that starts with a C.
Yeah, you can't do that in the South.
Oh, it gets better though. That was what it said on the back. On the front, it had a picture of a woman in a nun's smock and nothing else. You couldn't see like anything between the legs, but you could see her big breasts, nipples, and all. And she was like in this look of ecstasy, like she was masturbating on the front of the shirt. And on the back of the shirt, it said, Jesus is a word that starts with a C. And he got arrested for that, for violation of public decency
Yeah, there's
laws.
a little bit more of that shirt
Yeah.
going on than just saying a curse word.
Yeah, well, he won. All the public decency laws in the state of Florida were struck down based on his case in 1999.
Yeah, they do tend to be unconstitutional in that way.
Yeah, if you ever fight them, they lose and you win. But you have to go through getting arrested and all that other headache. And I'm pretty sure the fact that he's intoxicated in this charge is going to keep him from being able to beat this charge. It's because he was drunk. So if he was drunk, then whether he was cussing or not doesn't change anything. And even if he was, like in Tennessee, they got rid of the public decency laws and they changed it to disturbing the peace. So now if you drop an F-bomb in the middle of the street, in the middle of downtown, drunk, you're disturbing the peace. So they just invented a new charge. Instead of saying, it's a violation of public decency laws, you can't say curse words. It's like, no, you disturb the peace of our fair city.
Disturbing the peace tends to require a little bit more than just you said a word. Like if you're out shouting, that's something else. But
again, if you're in the rural South, in these little tiny mountain towns, disturbing the peace is anything that the police officer feels can be construed as
you will absolutely get arrested whether or not it'll stick. I will say that is like the silliest law I have ever seen, and I say that as somebody who went to law school in Louisiana, worked in St. Tammany Parish for years at both the public defender and some private places. And I've seen some silly stuff.
For real, Louisiana is known for silliness.
This is the silliest law. It really looks like somebody was like, hey, you know what? Hey, intern, go look through the book till you find something. Like, that's what it looks like.
Right. I'm telling you, like I said, I grew up in towns like these, and if you curse in public, you can go to jail. Like these little towns are the reason why there are Supreme Court decisions on whether or not you can tell a cop to blow you without being arrested for it. Because before saying something like that, I got free speech. Well, no, you violated public decency laws, that kind of stuff. So now you literally have Supreme Court decisions that say you can cuss a cop out, because if you cussed at a cop in these small rural towns, you go to jail.
Well, I would definitely in the South expect that if I curse out a cop, I'm going to jail.
Yeah. You're
that's
going
like
to jail.
Common knowledge. It's like, well, if you touch a fire, it's going to be hot. If you curse out a cop, you're going to go
South,
to jail.
yeah, if you cuss out a cop in the South, you're going to jail. Either that or you're getting the living piss kicked out of you.
Or both, you know.
Probably, more than likely both. And they don't really care about what color you are down there. I mean, if you're black, you're probably going to get the hell beat out of you. But if you're white, if you cuss at a cop, that whole black-white thing goes out the window. You know, like they don't care if you're white, brown, purple with green polka dots. If you say F you pig to a cop in rural East Tennessee, they are going to find you with a footprint somewhere that it didn't used to be the next day, guaranteed. Now, when we get back here, what happened, man? The internet's still here, right? Are we still being broadcast? Because net neutrality's over
We
as
might
of
be ghost
today.
bands.
And the internet's still here, so I mean, what happened to the apocalypse? Is this like Y2K all over again? Just a whole lot of over nothing? We'll find out when we get back.
I won't slave for beggars' pay, likewise gold and jewels, but I would slave to learn the way, sink your ship of fools, ship of fools, on a cruel sea, ship of fools, sail away from me. It was later than I thought when I first believed you. Now I cannot share your laughter, ship of
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what, these days, guys, it is nearly impossible to keep your communications secured from the prying eyes of the government. As a matter of fact, there are so many tools in the government's toolkit these days. It's getting harder and harder and harder. But you know what? There's hope still, folks. You see, even with the tools, they can subpoena these companies and say, we want all the personal information of all of your users. Coinbase, anybody sound familiar? They're not communication, but still, that's what they do. Signal is supposed to have some kind of a backdoor now that's been written into it for the feds so that they can look in and get private information from users. Or you have things like what happened in Egypt or what happened in Turkey, where servers are shut down completely, preventing communication altogether. Well, that's where CryptVisor comes in. You see, CryptVisor doesn't ask for any of your personal information, so there's no phone numbers, no emails, no names, no nothing. So if the feds come around with a warrant and they're like, we want to see all the personal information you've got, well, that's okay, because they don't have any. And you know what else? There's no centralized server either. It's hosted on the blockchain. So if the feds come around and try to shut something down, there's nothing to shut down. So go over to cryptvisor.network, check out their advanced security features and the CVPay crypto wallet. That's cryptvisor.network, your home for advanced secured communications. Now, like I said, the internet's still here. I mean, we're still talking to each other right here, right?
I think so.
You guys still out there? I mean, I see Mortified Penguin still typing away in the chat room over here, and we've got people in the Telegram as well, and we've got people over here talking on Twitch, and I see Ian outside. He's on his computer, and Daryl's in here on Twitter. So net neutrality came. And the internet's still here. So don't everybody freak out.
Net neutrality came or net neutrality left?
Left, not came.
Okay.
Net neutrality's gone.
We only had it for a couple years, so we had the
neutrality's
internet
gone. My internet's still here. I haven't got a $175 bill to continue with my Yahoo email. Nobody sent me any bills yet that says if I want to use Google, it's going to cost $75 a month. Haven't got any of that. Says here, this is from TechCrunch. Net neutrality is officially dead today, but the fight to revive it still lives on. Net neutrality's protracted multi-phase death scene has finally come to an end with a whimper. As the FCC rules proposed in May, voted on in December, and then entered in the Federal Register in February, finally come into effect today. But as before, don't expect some big fanfare by broadband providers and a sudden ratcheting up of prices. Things are going to stay quietly tense for a while. Although new rules do indeed take effect, those taking effect are only part of the full package today. The Office of Management and Budget still has to sign off on some new rules, after which time there will be
they don't have to. They could just neglect to do that. It'll be fine.
There will be yet another delay, as those are filed in the register again before taking effect. So although the new rules have taken a partial effect today, they are still waiting for another final approval. I love it's like Cher's last tour. It's her final tour. It's the final tour of The Who. How many final tours did The Who have? Like 8?
I have no idea whatsoever.
Lynyrd Skynyrd. Oh my God. Lynyrd Skynyrd has a final tour every 2 years. They have since like 1997. It's been Lynyrd Skynyrd's final tour every other year for 25 years now. So, should you be worried? No, but you should stay angry. Restoring internet freedom may have taken effect, but the truth is that 2015 net neutrality rules have been out of effect since the FCC was shuffled under the new administration. Under Chairman Ajit Pai's FCC, those rules were unlikely to be enforced from the day he took over. He was, in fact, promising industry leaders they'd be rolled back as soon as possible, soon after assuming his new office. But ISPs, battered but wise from more than a decade of legal battling, knew there was more to it than a friendly face at the FCC. The rules would signal serious legal challenges, as the previous one did for years after their adoption. It would be premature to enact policies in the new freedom of the post-Title II era, though they may allow themselves to hope and prepare. As they expected, opposition is organized and actually has a non-trivial chance of success. The popularity, technical accuracy, and ironclad legal reputation of the previous rules are nice, but ultimately, challenges must be based on shortcomings in the new rules, not strengths of the old ones. Fortunately, well, there's no end to shortcomings. As has been detailed before, the main legal challenges follow under 3 categories. Congressional Review Act. The Senate is 1 vote away from forcing a vote on the repeal of the rules. Unlikely to succeed, but it would force senators to publicly take a position in an election year while voters still have the issue fresh in their minds. Administrative Procedure Acts. Lawsuits may allege that last year's rulemaking process was arbitrary or capricious, either because of the various inconsistencies in the FCC's own process or because of the technical issues in the order itself. Lawsuits have already been filed. And third, but definitely not least, state laws. Several states have already begun or are nearing completion of legislation establishing their own net neutrality policies. The argument is that if the FCC gives up its powerful Title II authority under which the previous rules were enforced, well, then it'll just have no jurisdiction over state policy in this area. Lawsuits have been filed. So, already. Both sides are pushing for legislation to settle the issue once and for all. Though, of course, each side wants rather different legislation. That's a longer game. And since it's an election year, it will almost certainly have to wait until 2009 or even 2020. Many politicians are calling for net neutrality to be presented as a major voter issue. The fact that little will change in the short term after the new rules take effect will be crowed about by their proponents as evidence that there was nothing nefarious about them. But the simple truth is that everyone is with anyone to gain by taking advantage of the new rules is too smart to do so until they know they're on solid legal footing, and that's not going to happen for quite some time. So basically, it doesn't really matter what side of this issue you're on. You're not going to get your way right now. That seems to be the simple long and short of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about this area of law, but it sounds like it's kind of in limbo, which is almost like the worst possible place for anything to be, because then at least you know what to do.
Yeah.
Even if it's
like the crypto space right now. I don't know. What is it currency? Or is it a commodity? I don't know.
With that we know it's different things at different agencies.
Exactly. Are we talking to are you asking the IRS or are you asking the FCC, or are you asking both of them but at a different time? Because the IRS was happy to call it commodities if it can be taxed at a higher rate as a commodity, but then come after you for money laundering and tax evasion like it's a currency later.
Well,
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to may be even more nervous than you are. And the way things are now, your references have never been more important. Here are 3 tips. First, know that employers are checking. Every hire is under the microscope these days. Second, they won't just be checking references you provide. Figure that all of your ex-employers will get a call and be asked, would you hire him or her again? Third, assume you will be Googled. So before you apply, remove all those party animal photos from your Facebook page. Even if you're not in the job market, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
It's written in legalese. If you don't have training in reading that crap, it might as well be a foreign language. And as you pointed out, it doesn't matter if you can read it.
I thought I had them dead to rights. And these bureaucrats, they just like, no, we do whatever we want here at the zoning board.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'll kiss our butts.
Peon. Serf.
You'll
slave.
You'll do what we say.
Yeah. Why label them citizens?
Well,
Why not just call it what it is? You're a serf. You're a slave. We're the freest slaves in the world. If you don't like this slavery, you should go to some other country and be a slave. At least we got cell phones and TV and beer.
Do have beer.
Our masters let us live a pretty nice life. They let us keep 40% of what we earn.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And you know what? As long as I can get away with playing that clip, we're going to just do like a cannabis news section. And that is the new intro for the cannabis news section. And I love that. I found it last week for 420, and I want to play it every day now.
Well, I don't think South Park is going to sue us. They have some.
I'm more worried about the what do you call it? The estate for Bob Marley. There we go. The Bob Marley estate.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's not enough guitar riff there for them to figure out if it's Sublime or if it's Marley or if it's Peter, like who it is, just that it's reggae-ish sounding guitar. I'm hoping I cut it early enough that nobody can cut us at all. Leave it to YouTube. They always find a way. Anyway, I've got this story here. This is from Leafly. You heard the little clip there. So we're going to start trying to do like, I love Leafly, and I love they have like a whole news section on Leafly. And it's always got these interesting little stories. 14 vegan cannabis products for your cruelty-free stash. You know, just like all kinds of weird little things. Everything from like, so what is the linalool terpene and how is it therapeutically used? Or here's how to get rid of the munchies. You know, just like things for stoners, and then there's things for people that actually want to know, like, this is what's going on in the government. This is what's going on in the medical world. This is what's going on here. And it's all like sectioned off to where you know what you're getting to, and I love it. And now they're talking, this story that I brought up, the Virginia Democrats, they're going to try to take down the most pro-pot Republican in Congress.
That makes sense.
Right. Says here, over the weekend, Virginia Democrats in the congressional district that includes Charlottesville and Danville picked Leslie Cockburn, a former 60 Minutes journalist, to face incumbent GOP Tom Garrett in the general election. The choice of Cockburn, a nationally recognized TV personality, I'd never heard of her before, known for her tough and I'm a fan of 60 Minutes, known for her tough investigative reports, ramps up the stakes for Garrett, one of the Republican Party's leading cannabis legalization advocates. Cockburn's entry into the race, Garrett becomes the second pro-legalization Republican Congress member to face an uncertain re-election campaign in a district that's normally a safe GOP seat. In California, longtime Orange County Republican Representative Diana Rohrabacher, I think I'm pronouncing an A that shouldn't be, is the leading GOP voice for cannabis in the House and has rarely faced a serious challenge. Well, this year, a small army of challengers from both parties are gunning for his seat from both the left and the right. Rohrabacher is the longtime sponsor of the Rohrabacher now Rohrabacher Blumenauer, good Lord, these names, budget amendment, which safeguards the rights of medical marijuana patients in states that have legalized cannabis for medical use. Garrett, a genial and folksy libertarian with common sense law and order streak, was previously a state prosecutor, Not long after his Capitol Hill swearing in, Garrett introduced House Resolution 1227, the Ending Federal Marijuana Prohibition Act of 2017. The act would remove cannabis from the federal list of controlled substances, allow states to regulate it as they please. It's not far from the legislation that Chuck Schumer introduced on 420 this year, except that Garrett's has nothing approaching the seniority and political clout that Schumer possesses. I don't really care about marijuana, Garrett said at a political conference in Washington, D.C. last year. What I do care about, however, is individual liberty. What I do care about is justice. What I do care about is economic opportunity. It's too early to say where Cockburn stands. Her website won't specifically address the issue, and she vows to reform the school-to-prison student pipeline, reduce mass incarceration, and reform the bail and asset forfeiture laws, and support healthy solutions to the opioid crisis. Hopefully those healthy solutions will include pain management with medical cannabis. Heading into the 2016 election, Garrett's district was ranked as one of the safest Republican seats in the country. Garrett proved it to be so, beating his Democrat challenger 58-42 in his last race. Unfortunately, that's not the case anymore. The age of Trump is the reason why she's decided this Democrat has decided she wants to get into office. Now, there is no association between Garrett and Trump.
I mean, they're a member of the same party. It's not entirely unfair to say, well, you joined this organization and this other person joined this organization, and things relating to this organization, I'm going to... It's not like anybody's problem with Trump is just completely unrelated to politics. So it's not unfair to say, okay, well, if you join this political organization, I'm going to assume that you have similar politics to the other people who join it.
I think it's funny. It says, Cockburn appears to fit the profile of the most formidable candidates that will be coming out in the upcoming election. Tough, experienced women inspired by their outrage over the words, actions, and policies of Donald Trump. I was, quote, I was very, very offended by Donald Trump when asked why she was running over the weekend.
That is the worst reason to run for office ever. I'm running for office because I'm offended.
I am running for office because I'm going to run for Congress in Virginia because I don't like the president. Well, if you don't like the president, then Congress is like the last place you should be. Because now you're going to have to deal with him like every day that he's not at Mar-a-Lago playing golf. Matter of fact, if you hate him that much, what'll happen is about 6 months into your time as a member of Congress, you'll actually start looking forward to when Trump goes to Mar-a-Lago.
I mean, anybody should look forward to that, whatever president it is, because if you're playing golf, you can't be bombing Syria. If you're playing golf, you can't be passing tax hikes. If you're playing golf, you can't be bombing some other country. Go play golf, please. Go play golf 300 days a year.
Live on the golf course, please. Please go live on the golf course. I would be totally okay with that. Says she's one of several women in Virginia and nationwide who have been prompted to run for office by Trump's victory. Cockburn beat out a Marine Corps veteran, Roger Dean Huffstetler, and a former prosecutor in the 5th District, Andrew Sneathern. So she beat two guys for the position. Her victory will be made official at convention next month in Farmville.
So when the other Republicans or Democrats were running stuff and doing the exact same thing, just they weren't as blunt about it, she was cool with that. It was just talking about it that bothers her enough to take action and do something.
Well, basically, she's mad because Trump got elected, and the Democrats in her district are like, she's an angry woman. We should nominate her. Because being not an angry woman is chic right now. It's trendy.
Yeah, Democrats do tend to vote for people based on demographics rather than like positions on issues.
Only? Oh, well. I mean, you have to remember, like, I spend my days and nights arguing with people who go out and protest against, like, the Israeli occupation of Palestine and the American military-industrial complex on Tuesday, and then, on Monday, and then tell me why we should all vote for Hillary on Tuesday. So, yeah. I mean, they literally will vote for people that...
Hillary was definitely going to bomb people. At least with Trump, there was like some chance. Like, I don't really think the president is in charge of that, but like maybe he won't bomb people as much. I mean, clearly that's not the case.
No.
But Hillary was like 100% she's just going to bomb everything.
Everything is exactly as I predicted it would be. So I'm just going to pull out my crystal ball and we'll figure out what I think is going to happen in 2020. Because everything so far is exactly like
I don't know if I want to know ahead of time. Knowing during is bad enough.
Right. All right, guys. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for sticking around. Don't go anywhere, though, because Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per